A very beautiful Monday morning. Welcome to Monday Blitz. I'm Katela Macy, and of course, I am not alone, and we know all what happened yesterday. It's a Monday morning filled with shock, surprises, and butua kwa wingi. I'm joined by Kenyan ex-international, Innocent Mutiso. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Komzima?
Kofiti kabisa. Good to see you.
Same here, a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. I'm actually very excited that I get to do a show with you. We've played football together, but we've never really done any analysis together.
And Coach Ken Kabedi, karibu sana.
Asante.
Jezi imenifurahisha.
Nashukuru.
Mapema ndio best.
Pamba ndio.
And sura mbaya roho safi.
Arocho mwenyewe. You look splendid.
Thank you.
Mutiso, we need to be having her more on TV shows.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Hizi za regerege saa zingine. But she looks so nice.
Tuseme nimevaa tu poa.
Nah, that's what I'm saying.
Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
So now guys, what happened jana? We all know Chelsea. Chelsea shocked the world jana. They beat PSG 3-0 at the FIFA Club World Cup Finals. And by the way, tukianza na mimi, I was shocked. Kitu ya kwanza, I never expected that Chelsea will reach the finals and itaweza kupiga PSG, because you remember their first match again il Fluminense waliwapiga vibaya.
Flamengo, it was the second game. Yeah.
And now you can see what happened. Enyewe kuteleza sio kuanguka. What's your take on this, Innocent?
Well, no one saw it coming, just as you've aptly put it, and the shock. I still think that I was living a dream. I mean, no one saw it coming. When the game started, we were here with Arocho, and Arocho, actually, his prediction, he had given 2-0 to PSG, but then again, the game went the other way around. I think everyone's prediction here, when you were analyzing that game yesterday, everyone was for PSG. We all knew that PSG will definitely win that match, hands down. That was not the PSG that sliced through Inter Milan 5-0 in the UEFA Champions League finals like a hot knife through butter. That's not the PSG that demolished Arsenal over 2 legs. That's not the PSG that beat Atletico Madrid 4-0 in the first game of the Club World Cup. That's not the same PSG which beat Real Madrid 4-0, 15-time champions of the UEFA Champions League. So everyone was surprised, but not to take anything from Chelsea. Maresca and the boys did their best. The homework was up to par. They did their homework very well, and kudos to Chelsea. Congratulations to them. Right now, they have the bragging rights. You know, right now, when you go talking in front of a Chelsea fan, you just shut up and take a notebook and a pen, write notes, because they have the bragging rights. They will be wearing a golden badge for Club World Cup for the next 4 years. They are 119 million pounds richer. So all the plaudits go to Chelsea, and congratulations to their fans.
Coach Kabedi, First things first, what was your prediction yesterday?
Different from Mutiso, and it is on record, even with the Wadaus we were with on the weekend. Okay. I kind of predicted Chelsea will take the game, because when you're on form, you only have one way, and that way is downwards. So PSG were on form, and I knew the Maresca boys, or rather I thought Maresca's boys will bring something different. They were the underdogs in that story, and there's always a beauty in underdog story. So that was my prediction. I saw Chelsea winning the match, and yeah, they did it. However much I'm a Manchester United fan, Chelsea did it because, well, you can see the quality that Chelsea have, and it was shown in yesterday's match. And I think they did very, very good homework, how they started the match with the explosive first half. If you notice, they committed a lot of fouls, especially the first 20 minutes. I think it was more of to disorient the PSG midfield, which we kind of predicted. And once they did that, and then there was individual masterclass from Palma, who gave a scintillating performance. And I was super, super proud of that team. And well, congratulations to Chelsea, as Mutiso have said. They wear the golden badge for the next 4 years.
Arocho, what do you think was wrong with PSG?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate Chelsea. They did a splendid job last night. Kudos to Gusto, kudos to Milner, kudos to the goals that they had. But having said that, I also would like to look at, coming to your question, what went wrong? I think complacency also did them in yesterday. They went into that match with a lot of confidence, going by the fact that before that match, they had scored a total of 16 goals. So scoring for them was more than obvious. They believed that they will get a goal. And even us who are doing the analysis here on set, we still believed that after the first half, we still believed that there was a goal coming for PSG. But I liked the strategy that Chelsea employed. I named the players who are on the left side, on the right side, rather. They made sure that the key, Hakimi, didn't operate. When you go for a soccer match, you must prepare for your opponent. And I think Chelsea did it so well. They made sure that they cut supply on the right side. If you gave Hakimi that opportunity to move up, and that's what Real Madrid's main undoing in the semi-finals, where they gave Hakimi a lot of space on the right and Mendy a lot of space on the left. What Chelsea did, they made sure that they blocked that path, and then PSG was somehow choked. They could not operate. And by the time they were realizing things were getting out of hand, they had already conceded the 3 goals. So once again, as much as we are looking at the problems that were from the PSG perspective, we should also give kudos to what Chelsea did well. I think for me, it's a turning point. It should be a turning point for Chelsea. Look at the fact that Chelsea, before the match, had scored only 12 goals compared to PSG. 14. Plus yesterday, you'll get a total of 16 goals. So basically, the Chelsea that started the season is not the Chelsea that we saw yesterday. And it's a lot of progression, it's a lot of work that has been put. And I believe that they're going to pick it up from there and give a challenge for the English Premier League, give a challenge for the Champions League, because basically that's where Chelsea belongs. They've been absent for some time, but now they're on.
Congratulations to Chelsea. I mean, the next 4 years, mimi kama fan wa the other team, sijui tutaweza kupumua.
Sema tu.
Pride of London.
No.
Usenieka karibu na watu wa Arsenal. I'm a fan of the mighty Manchester United, but anyway, let's move. Let's come back home, right? We all know that we have less than 2 weeks for the African Nation Championships. The stadiums are ready. Coach Ben McCarthy named his 30-man squad. Already wameingia kwa camp on Wednesday. And aliweza kuongea kidogo. So what do you think about this squad? And Arocho, I want you to talk about the squad sana sana. Do you think that, Innocent Motiso, do you think that we as Kenyans, we are ready to deliver?
Well, readiness and Kenyans, I think it's a long shot because we are also always a reactionary state. But then again, when you look at the squad that Ben McCarthy put forward, it has a lot of youth blended with experience. So he knows what is needed of him. In the qualifiers, I really wish that in the World Cup qualifiers, he had put out the team for the CHAN. He had the one which played in Mapinduzi Cup, and he should have continued with that squad. But you know, he's the coach. I'm not a coach. He's the coach. He knows what's best. He's been in Kenya for some time. He's been going to matches. I've seen him going to matches for the under 20s. I don't know if he was in the school games, but he has his eyes set on the prize. He knows what's needed of him. He knows the squad that he has put out there. I remember in his one of his pressers, he said that he's not here to impress anyone. And it's his squad which he has picked himself because there was a lot of speculation that maybe the squad, there was some behind the scenes, someone pulling the strings, but that's not the case. This is his squad. He said that some players who the players who have been called up, they deserve to be in that squad, and they'll have some good preparations when they meet when they go to Tanzania for the Four Nations Cup, which will be included which will be in Tanzania. They're playing with Uganda and also South Sudan, who are the other nations who've been invited. So we're really waiting. If they prepare well in the Four Nations Cup, then we'll see. We will give them. We will know where we are just before the start of the tournament, because we have not seen this current team play only in training sessions, but we've not seen them play competitively. So in the Four Nations League, it will be a good litmus test to test where we are so far, because we are in a very tricky group in the CHAN.
Okay, to you, Coach Kabedi, I don't know why I want to call you McCarthy. There's something similar with your names. Coach, before we have Coach McCarthy, before we hear what he had to say about his squad and the readiness of the CHAN preparations, what do you think about the national team?
For me, I think the selection was quite fair. Of course, you cannot have all players in the squad, as the coach explained. And the coach, as Motiswa said, explained also he cannot please anyone. However, his mandate is to please Kenyans through performance. So he's not there just not to please anyone. He's supposed to please Kenyans through performance. So my plea to Kenyans is to give him a chance. Especially with this four-nation tournament, let's see the performance, even in CHAN. But to specifically answer you, are we ready? I think yes. And my yes is on patriotic ground. I think we are a bit ready, and I really pray and hope that we might pull more of a surprise than what people are expecting. And as I'll pray for any coach, I pray for his success, I pray for the Kenyan team's success, and yeah, let's see what happens, but all the way for the Kenyan team.
So before Aracho gives his opinion, let's hear what Coach Benny McCarthy has to say about this.
I'm here to bring success to this country, and the players that we've selected is the players that we've seen, the players that I've had in camp, and they were just unfortunate when you go and play World Cup qualifiers, international players come, so you can't select everyone. So now it's based on local camp. So those are the players that you've seen, and you see the qualities and where they can take the team. So do you risk taking someone based on a couple of good games, or knowing what you're going to have when you've seen players? And that's how we selected. Yeah, we know everyone is not going to be happy with how the team is selected, but everyone has not been where I've been. So I have an eye, and I know talent when I see one, and the players that we've selected, that we picked, were by far the players that I think and the technical team think that can take this team. And then we're not going to just participate in the CHAN. We're here to make a statement. We're here to go as far as possible, hopefully even winning the tournament. And the boys that you see there, those are the boys that I think that's got the capability of taking this team to where we should be.
That was Coach Benny McCarthy said about these African Nation Championships. Now, Aracho, to you, what do you think? Do you think first that Kenyans, we have what it takes to reach at the finals? Do you think we have what it takes to play the finals here at home? You've seen the squad, you know the players, you've been there, you've interacted with some of them. So do you think that we have what it takes to
Yes,
get to the finals?
We have a good team, and normally I'm normally very reluctant to criticize a coach or even to pick a coach before the match is played. Why am I saying so is because the coach knows exactly how he would like to play and the kind of players that he would like, and that's how he settles at a player. But I've seen the coach trying to blend experience and fresh blood, in that we have an experienced goalkeeper in Farouk Shekhalo among the three keepers. In the defense, we have Michael Kibwage, a very experienced player, though people had issues about him not being much fitness, having that much fitness because he's been off. But I think Kibwage has that experience to carry that team. In that midfield, we are having Austin. I'm mentioning few players just to support my reasoning of the experience that the coach has brought in. Well, there are issues about several players who have been left out. Somebody talked about Marvin from Police. But I'll go once again to my initial statement. The coach normally picks his team based on how he'd like to play. And at times when you're not picked, it's not because you are not a good player, but perhaps you're not fitting to what the coach would like to employ for the matches. But as he said, I was in that press conference, he said that this is still a provisional squad. The team is moving to Karatu, a town about 150 kilometers from Arusha. That's where they're going to play the Four Nations. It's basically a tournament where the four teams are going to look at their playing unit that is coming up for CHAN. We are playing Tanzania on the 24th. I think that should be a Wednesday. And then, of course, in any case we progress, we'll play the winner between South Sudan and Uganda. For me, it's a platform for the coaches to see exactly what is expected in CHAN, because that will be more or less a week before we move in for CHAN. I'd like to plead to Kenyans. Let's support our coach. Let's support our team. And I'd also like to make a plea to our government. There's no noise about CHAN. What are we doing about marketing this thing? It will be a very big embarrassment that we've made sure that our infrastructure is ready, we've made sure that the team is ready, but we'll not be having guys in the stadiums. No fans. I'm anticipating a very bad scenario where fans will not appear. We need to sensitize these fans. We need to start making noise about this tournament. It's about 20 or so days before the tournament is played, but very little is being talked about. So it's not necessarily on such platforms, a football magazine like this or a sports magazine like this, a magazine show like this, but we need to move out. We need to have things like road shows. I made to understand that billboards are somehow restricted by CAF, but just making noise as a fraternity, as a country that we are hosting one of the biggest showcases in Africa. We need to do that. I don't think we need permission from anyone to move out in the suburbs of Nairobi, to tell Kenyans that we are having this thing here, you need to come out and support our team. Last but not least, I'm happy that they came up with the rates to get into the stadiums. I feel it's a bit favorable for Kenyans. 200 shillings for the terraces, for me, is favorable. If you feel that you can be a VIP, you'll cough 500 shillings. And if you feel that you're a VVIP, you'll cough 1,000 bob. So for me, we need to do much. The team is ready, our infrastructure is ready, but I'm still playing to the government. Let's do something to shout about this tournament.
Okay. As Orisha said, kelele bado, hakuna mbwembwe. The tournament is starting on 2nd of August, and I believe it's less than 2 weeks, right? It's less than actually 15 days.
19 days.
19 days, eh? 19 days. So let's hear what the president has to say about this, anasemaje about this tournament, and of course the national team and the squad.
Over the last 6 or 7 months, it has been a journey and a half. There are so many people who did not believe that we would be able to host this tournament, and it is here with us. We have done everything possible together with this government to ensure that we've given them everything they need to succeed. Mine is to give Kenyans the assurance that we are not going to take this thing for granted. The team is going into camp today, and I can assure you we have done everything in our power to give them all the tools that they require to succeed. I think the one thing many Kenyans have been concerned about over or in the past about selection of teams, I want to again reiterate that the team selection is purely at the discretion of the national coach and his technical bench. The Secretariat of the Federation, including myself, have absolutely no say in how the players are selected, and we want to keep it that way.
Now, the regional heavyweight champions, Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan and, of course, the host Tanzania will be meeting for the Four Nations tournament starting off on 24th. It will be on a Thursday, whereby Kenya will be playing Tanzania at 4 p.m. East African time. Mutiso, based on the last experience, unaonaje hii game?
Well, it's just almost akin to the Mapinduzi Cup or Sekafa, because all the teams are from the Sekafa region, and it will really give us, it will be a good litmus test to see where the team is in anticipation for the CHAN 2025. And as the coach has said, and also as the president has said, Mohamed Hussein, he has said that all the tools have been given, so it's up to them to give us the performance that Kenyans are really yearning for, because it's been a long while since we were impressed by Harambe Stars, ever since their qualifications for the African Cup in 2019, their participation in African Cup in 2019. Ever since, we have not been that impressed with the Harambe Stars, but right now they have a very good chance to take back our hearts, because it has been a downward trend ever since we qualified for the African Nations Cup. When you look at the teams which are in the region, Uganda and Tanzania, after qualifying in the 2019 African Cup, they also qualified for the next edition, for the next two editions. And the progress that Tanzania and Uganda have had in the last decade has been exceptionally very well. And really, Kenya needs to pull up their socks. And for Coach McCarthy, I mean, the world is on his feet, and he has his legacy to protect. So he has said that he hopes that Kenya goes to the latter stages. So we're waiting to see, because the group that we are in is a very difficult one. We are playing Morocco, Zambia, Angola, and
Congo,
and DRC Congo. So it will be a very difficult group to get out of. But then again, nothing is impossible, like we saw yesterday when Chelsea routed PSG.
To Coach Kabethi.
Yeah, as Motiso said, nothing is impossible. However, we have to remember that the last time Kenyans won our heart, even in 2019, we did not win it by, like on the pitch. We were given, literally, we were like given the opportunity to, because I think there were some problems with Sierra Leone or something. However, I feel Coach McCarthy is in a very, very unique situation. These four nations, he knows it's not as important as AFCON, or rather even as CHAN, okay? So he's torn between, should I use this four nation to experiment what I want as a coach, and should I focus on winning this four nation to boost the morale of the team and the hearts of Kenyans? You know, as a coach, even Motiso, maybe Arocho will say something on it, at times when you're trying to experiment, winning is more or less of a focus.
Focus is more on performance.
Focus is more on performance and what you're building on. So he's in between a hard rock, we call it a hard rock, and he's in a dilemma and a hard place, you know? He's in there. And I think if he's able to merge the two, experiment and win, then he will win the 50 million plus hearts of Kenyans, and will also boost the morale for the national team in the upcoming CHAN and eventually AFCON.
Well, I'm not a technical man, but I'm a man of facts and figures. I'd like to debunk something with all due respect to Coach. We were never handed the 2019 AFCON. We beat Ethiopia fair and square. We beat Ghana fair and square, though there was an issue about Sierra Leone being suspended. But I just want it to come out. I don't want it to look like it was given on a silver platter.
But we lost the first leg against Sierra Leone.
Yes.
So those 3 points don't matter. When Sierra Leone, they were supposed to come to Kenya, and we would have beaten them here in Kenya, because we had not lost any match.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because we beat Ethiopia here at home. And that time Ghana was flying, as far as in terms of football in Africa. And we beat them here. But that aside, I think we are moving into the four nations with a lot of confidence. I hope that we will start well against Tanzania. Though Tanzania, if you ask me, are more stable than us in terms of football. Why am I saying so? look at their clubs, look at Yanga. And you know, the national team is normally based, is normally described by how you perform as far as clubs are concerned. Look at Yanga. Yanga played in the group stages of the Champions League. Look at Simba, played in the Confederations Cup finals. So basically, they have a basis. They have players who are not going to be mesmerized by the occasion. So they are stronger on paper compared to Kenya. But I think we have that mental strength. Kenyans are known to be having that resilience. We can do it, and I'm expecting to be in Kiratu. I'll travel to that small town to go and see how our boys are playing. Basically, I want to write a story. I'm happy that we are having one of the under 20 players that played in Egypt in the name of Mansour. I'd like to write that story of the way we had our team in the AFCON under 20. The way we had Chan, and of course, God willing, if I'll be alive and kicking, in the AFCON. So basically, for me, it's a journey that within the next 3 or 4 years, Kenya should have at least, because we are sure of playing Chan, because we are the host, we are sure of playing AFCON, because we are the host. So we need, the only thing that is going to break our momentum is AFCON in Morocco. We didn't qualify. But subsequently, when we are moving for 2027, Kenya should be a powerhouse, if you ask me, within the region.
Wow. Now let's go to secondary school games. This thing, watu wameiongelea sana. Sana. There's been a lot of mixed reactions, age cheating, hapana, huyu hawezi kuwa mtoto wa high school, the way the players react when they are given yellow cards, ama when the referee talks to them, their reaction shows that hapana, this age. Secondary school games, manze, imekuwa so controversial, imekuwa, there's a little bit of confusion and watu wameiongea sana. We having court cases, we having age cheating, yani mambo ni mengi sana, you know? Let me start with you.
Katela, just use the right word. We are thieves.
Tunachoma, tunablanda.
Our fiber is made of, I'm sorry, with the lack of a better word, corruption. We are taking this corruption to schools. Look at the fact, there was a case in Western, I'm not going to mention the schools, because it's so sensitive. It's so unfortunate that we are taking corruption into schools where we should be talking about discipline, we should be talking about integrity. There was a case, I think, in Rift Valley, where a young man born in 2004 is now being placed to have been born in 2008. What these guys did, they went to a cyber cafe, edited the 2004 to indicate 2008, because there's a rule within the secondary schools to anybody past 19 should not be playing. Because when you count the time that you should be in primary school and of course secondary school, by 19 should have been done with secondary school. So basically teachers, and I think time has come for the government to stamp its authority. Any student, or let me call him any adult who is caught playing secondary school games or even primary school games should be arrested. The teacher who orchestrated that whatever should also be arrested, first of all sacked, arrested and prosecuted. And even the principal. I feel that it's a chain. The teacher, the student, the teacher, the principal, and even the parents. Because if I'm a parent, and I know very well, my son was born in 2004, and he's featuring in a tournament that guys who are born in 2008 are the ones who are supposed to play, then I should also be culpable. So basically, we are bringing bad practices in our secondary schools. Look at the way I saw a secondary school kid, if I'll call him a kid, slapping a referee.
Headbutting another.
Headbutting a referee.
Teammate.
What are we doing with our kids? So I think something needs to be done. Yesterday I had an interview on radio. I wanted to have an interview on Radio 47 with the secondary school games Secretary General David Ngugi, though he told me that he could not make a comment yesterday because the games were still on. But now that the regional finals have already been played, everybody knows who is supposed to play. He's going to make a statement. And he needs to come out very strong and give the guideline, because we are losing a generation here in corruption and in the fact that we want to do things, we want shortcuts. As grown-ups, we are used to shortcuts and violence. We are taking that to secondary school games.
To you, Coach Kabethi, sijui nitakuita tu McCarthy sasa.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll take it.
Coach Kabethi, you as a coach, what do you think should be done kumaliza history ya forging?
Okay.
Watu kuna wababa wako pale, sorry to say, mbaba unaambiwa kwa form 3.
It's very
you
true.
As a coach, unaona what can be done? Because some say masomo haina miaka, mwingine anaweza sema repeat. So what do you think can be done to stop all these age cheating, is scandals?
Okay. First, as a victim of age cheating, I coach a very good school in Kajiado. I started there 2019, and there's a team, an opponent team, ever in the zonals. There's a player I saw since 2019, and when I saw in 2019 was a Mbaba, so he's not a Form 1. And then even in 2025, he's still a student in the school, you know. So to answer you, my thinking, nobody should shoot me, however, my thinking is these KSSA games should be given to a company. Should be an independent body running it. Why am I saying so? At the moment, it's teachers running the games. Okay? Arocho, he's a senior boss in the ranks of the KSSA. He has invested in his school. He wants his school to go to regional. He knows the loopholes of all the rules and everything. He will play against the system to fit his school. But if you have an independent body or unit running this game, Motiso came in school in 2021. We have his biodata, everything. So if Motiso comes again in 2027, whatever he produces, we have something against it. Because now you see, from the zonal, what do they show? We just need a picture. All the players with the principal and the teacher, a picture. That is what is shown. That is, you can easily forge that. I can even tell Motiso, when you are ready, come, pigwa picture, you know. But if you have a professional, let me say a professional company running this with good systems, and then to stamp this, to avoid all of these court cases and everything, the checking ianzie strictly kutoka zonal. Why am I saying zonal? If Motiso, Arocho and I, we come from the same region, huyu kama amecheza mchezo ya nini ndajua juu tunatoka.
But now, I'll pick you on that before Motiso gives his take. You're now confirming that we've failed.
Yes.
The ecosystem within the education fraternity has failed. Because when we are giving our responsibility to somebody, because these are institutions. You know, when we're talking, if you are talking about clubs Mtaa, then labda tungekunasema because perhaps there's no structure, there's no order. But this is an institution where a principal takes a photo with a student, in quotes, who is not a student.
Yes.
It confirms my initial statement that we are just corrupt, we are just thieves, we are just people. I lack the best word to use. Because when a principal stands in a photo with labda a cook, I'll call him a cook because age yake shapita anafaa anapikia watu shule. What is this principal doing? You know, we might lose everything. But the moment a country loses the fiber of integrity, then that system is down. So we, in one way, are accepting that we failed. And this, for me, that is cheating the exams. He come out to cheat on football, which doesn't have a direct reflection to your future, because most of them don't play soccer past school. What about exam, where you feel that your future will be described by your performance? Basically, we have failed as a nation, and our fiber is rotten.
If I can weigh in on that situation, because I believe we can go away from these practices if the custodians of football in Kenya is Football Kenya Federation. I think before this given to the company, it should first be taken back to the football custodians, that is FKF. There'll be an AGM next year, and after the AGM is when the school games will be there. Can we have proposals to the CEO if Kenya's Secondary School Sports Association, together with the Primary School Sports Association, if they can be inducted as members of FKF, and after that, then FKF will be taking over the school games to bring a little bit of organization and hand it over to a company, so that some of these practices and also sponsorship for these teams, like what we saw, Brookside did a very good job in the yesteryears. And once the federation takes over, because in the last AGM, the federation restructured the football pyramid in Kenya, and if the county leagues will be having under 17, then that's the right age for also the school games and the primary schools games. So if they can now start negotiating about how they will absorb the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association in terms of football only, together with the Primary School Sports Association. And I think from then on, there will be good tracking of these players, because they'll be in the FIFA Connect, in the portal. So there'll be good tracking of these players, and age cheating will be a thing of the past. And also, it will be a very huge advantage for the federation, because after, we've seen before with the previous federations that after someone gets the CAF D, the same year, there'll be a CAF C rollout, and they'll be there. The very next year, there will be a CAF B course, and they will still be there. And so there's no development for a coach. A coach can move from CAF D to CAF C without any top flight football experience as a main coach. So we'll be moving from that ill practice. And right now, from CAF D, if you graduate, then they'll have a program with the Primary School Sports Association and the Secondary School Sports Association to take over these schools, instead of the PE teachers taking over the schools, because they don't have any experience. Or the PE teachers can also be doing these CAF D courses, so that the development of the players can come from the primary until the secondary and also the county league. So I think that's the best way to curb the disorganization that's there in the schools, Kenya Secondary School Sports Association.
I thought you had something to say.
Yes, I want just to be controversial here. You know, the problem with is not the football family, the football federation, or even KFF then have tried to have an MOU with the Kenya Secondary School Sports. But unfortunately, it's just about my cake. Yes. Because some people feel within the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association, with all due respect to them, that once they are absorbed within the football system, then they will not be in charge. Because basically, and you're right, the core business of a teacher is to teach in class. But the moment you bring him into the core curriculum, that's how it's described in school, then he might run short of ideas or even experience to perform his duty. So the previous regimes have tried to have an MOU with the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association, but these guys don't want, because the moment they come here, they'll become irrelevant. And you know, within these games, there's a lot of money that the sponsorship and all that comes in, because people pay caution money in schools, and I'm sure that there's some money that each school pays to participate in this tournament. So basically, it's just uchoyo wetu wa Kenya. CAF tried something, and I think the process is still on, where CAF wants to align the schools with the federations. But I'm seeing problems, because people will not want to come in because of being irrelevant. And once again, it's about greed, na uchoyo wetu. We don't look at these kids and their performance. All we look at is how much I'm going to make out of the tournament.
And I think, Arocho, if I can interject a little bit, sorry, it's not all about an MOU Because you see, MOU is not like, it does not have substance like being members and having a say in the AGM, in the elections. If they have a say, then they can be proposing their agendas and it can have a structured way. But an MOU, I think that is maybe, there'll be a power shift when it comes to an MOU. But when they are inducted as members, then they will also have a say in the agendas of the federation. That's what I meant.
Okay.
It's really deep. It's very deep, right?
It is.
It's deep. It's very deep.
Very
deep. Now, we've seen changes zimekuwa zikihappen regionally, whereby we have new champions. But the question is, how comes Highway wanaweza kuretain kukuwa champions in Nairobi? We've seen Gorosare walitolewa with a guy. The new championships and the new champions in the Western. We have Moi Biruri in Eastern, and then we're having Musingu of Western, and Agai in Nyanza region. What do you think makes it special for Highway Secondary? They were winners last time. What do you think makes them special? And do you think, let's say, a team like a school like Agai, Musingu can retain their championship title regionally?
As a proud alumni of Highway Secondary.
How is Arsenal?
As a proud alumni of Highway Secondary School, I am very happy for Highway for winning it for the second time in a row and the third in 4 years. And I think we started the culture at Highway when I was at Highway. Football was not taken that seriously. And I remember very well when I was in Form 1, and we had the Coca-Cola in our school, and we emerged the champions. We beat Aquinas in the finals. I was the MVP. I was the top scorer in that tournament, and it raised eyebrows like, kumbe Highway ilikuwa inajulikana mababi, kumbe wanaweza cheza football. So the investment started there, and the culture started there, because we were the first team in Highway's history to reach at the latter stages of the regional league in Nairobi. And after that, I think the culture continued, and the school saw that they can start investing in football. And when they brought in Coach Belin Odemba, they started winning those trophies and went for our first East Africa regional championships. And she performed very well. And right now, so many people don't know that Highway actually has a artificial turf in that school, and it's because of
What do you say?
It's true. This is the kind of development that we want, because most of these football fields in many schools, they are not well kept. They are not good to showcase your talent if you are a very good footballer. And the development at Highway, it has not come by fluke. As Arocho always says in all the shows that I've been with, football is not an event. Football is a process. And the process for Highway has been on an upward trend in that graph. And the sky is the limit from now, from here. And as Kabedi has aptly put it, that the form can only go down when you are on the up. And I really want to urge Highway Secondary School to continue to the nationals, which will be towards the end of this month, maybe a catedraiser for the Chan. And I really hope they go far and win the national championships and also go for the regional championships.
Shawaiona Mkamba na sifa za.
Anasifa kweli.
Mkamba na sifa za.
Mkamba from
Just a
Lakeside.
quick one, Kabedi, and then I think we'll move to Kenya Simbas. You are tulitolewa hapo World Cup. Coach Kabedi, just a quick one. We have less than.
Okay, first and foremost, it's congratulations to all the teams that have gone there. But to answer you, why are this team like Highway consistent? Moimbiro, it is their first time to be there. It is one I will attribute to partnership. At least I know of Highway and Moimbiro how they work. Berlin is a very good coach who embraces partnership. He invites coaches to assist her in training. Same thing with Moimbiro, which is led by Coach Stephen Ochola. This is the first time they're reaching there, and they have done that. Then you find the second thing why these teams are having success mainly is, like what Motiso was saying, is having coaches who have gone to class, who are licensed to coach the football, running the show in terms of coaching the game. As as compared to having PE teachers or other teachers who just love the game, okay? So if we are able to embrace maybe the two things, have coaches handle these teams, and then even coaches themselves to embrace partnership. If I'm a coach, I'm willing to invite Mutiso, come have a talk with the kids, come have session with these kids, because it kind of expounds their learning of the game. But all in all, congratulations to all the teams, and yeah, we'll be there.
Big man Arocho, no World Cup for Kenya Simbas. What's happening in the rugby world? Because Kenya lost to Zimbabwe in a semi-final.
Well, it was unfortunate. We played so well in the first half. We were leading 18-13, and I think we just dropped the ball. I was expecting that Kenya will make it into the finals. We play against Namibia and join South Africa as the two representatives from Africa. But it didn't happen. I think we just lost our concentration towards the second half, complacency once again. But I hope that it should be a learning curve for our team. Rugby has been going through transition. I call it's an over transition, because we had an election, we had a chairman. Before he settled, he was kicked out. We're having a new boss there. So basically, there's a lot of instability, if you ask me, in terms of leadership in the game, and at times it reflects on the pitch because of the strategies that you have and the changes here and there. But it was a good performance, if you ask me. Namibia is not a pushover. They are one of the good teams within our continent. We need to just pick up ourselves and make sure that we are consistent in all these matches that are played within the region, and to make sure that we are preparing for subsequent matches.
So there you have it, the Monday Blitz. Thank you so much, Nairobi Highway alumni.
Thank you. Thank you too. Thank you.
And of course, Coach Kabethi, thank you so much. Mr. Big Man.
Good.
We meet next Monday, same time, same place. I've been Katela Macy. Thank you.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.